Everybody, Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And yes, well, it's Monday here on the show. And you don't know what that means today, because we got some changes today. Mike Sempervive will not be joining us. He's got a lot of work he's going to be doing this next week as I leave on Wednesday, and then I'm going to try and do a show on Thursday. That's my plan. We got a ton of shows coming up for subscribers, but as far as Wrestling Observer Live, I think Mike and maybe Tom are going to be stepping up here. So anyway, we'll be joined by Tom today. Tom and I have got a lot to talk about, including the Windy City Riot show and Bloodsport, which he will be doing commentary for. His usual thoughts on Smackdown, although that's going to have to be quick, because we also have a special guest today. Michael Oku is joining us here on the show. We're going to be talking about everything he's doing over Wrestlemania weekend. I guess the big question is going to be, how many matches has he got? Because there was a time not that many years ago where, man, some of these guys were wrestling so many matches over WrestleMania weekend. So we'll get his schedule and talk about all sorts of things with him. So a lot to get into there. Plus all of the news. Raw is tonight, NXT tomorrow, Dynamite on Wednesday, SmackDown on Friday. It never ends. Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2, Jeff Cobb's future, and plenty more. If you want to text us here today, the phone number, 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4W Online at gmail.com. F4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. I'm at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. $10 cameos. Grab one today. Trust me, they're worth it. Back in a moment. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Let's do this unnecessary censorship.
Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just your ass.
That was terrible. Horrible. They weren't the Heart Foundation. They weren't the British Bulldogs, okay? They're two geeks. And this celebration these guys did. Oh. I mean, they're like, Sean, give me brother! Yeah!
A place like that?
You two dorks. That's what you did! Why are you so excited?
Because they're awesome.
Okay. That was better than the first one.
It picked up at the end there.
Yes.
Unnecessary censorship.
He beat him, and 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 he beat him. I'm sweating.
Time to stop.
And he beat him.
Was this edited?
And then he beat him, and he
don't
beat
think
him.
so.
I actually wore that shirt. It just says he beat him, he beat him, he beat him all the way down. Like,
All the way down, you say?
I dropped her off at camp, and the camp counselor just looks at me. She goes, he beat him and beat him. I was like, gag gift.
Brian, would you for me again this week? It's too hot to do much.
That's true. It is too hot to do much.
I guess I just better do it because it came up for me.
I'll wait.
It won't come up again. It's pretty short, so I'll just do it. Yeah. Now I gotta find it back.
Okay.
It isn't
I'm
coming
gonna
up.
kill you. How about you just it? Okay.
Ouch.
What else we got, Vinny? I hope the granny licks her finger to turn the page. Lick that finger. There'll be
Page
an
2.
unnecessary censorship coming up. Lick that. Okay, let's see. Unnecessary censorship.
So Oro Ethan after the match and gets his ass just into the earth.
Vinny.
And Ethan is leaving, holding his all confident. And then Oro just comes back to life, and now he Ethan's ass.
Oro jumps him from behind.
Yep.
Then he his ass after cheap shotting the guy. That was interesting. That's quite unnecessary. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. No Mike Sempervive, but old Filthy Tom's here. What are you doing lately? Are you Tom Selleck? Is that who you're wrestling as?
A man can't grow a mustache?
No. God.
Oh, really?
What are we
Because
doing?
I remember, about a year ago, 2 years ago, when you were walking around sporting a pencil-thin mustache.
I didn't walk around. I drew it on my face, geek.
You look like...
It was pretend for like a bit, like a comedy bit.
You look like Little Daddy from the Brack Show.
God, I don't even know where to start with you. All right. Well,
This is what I look like now. I got a mustache and a mohawk. Deal with it.
why? You have a mohawk?
Yeah.
You just trim the sides. That's not a real mohawk.
Oh.
A mohawk's got to be like, no. When did that hairstyle? I've been seeing people with that, and it's like, what? When did
I
the
walked it-
70s
I walked in,
porn
I said,
stash,
hey.
which was like a comedy bit for like 30 years, suddenly it's like back, unironically, and then the weird, shave the sides and then down the back and leave a mullet, which also, it's like the mullet and the mustache were a joke for like 30 years. And then, people decided, oh, now it's a great time to bring it back. It's not a great time to bring it back. It's just horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I say that as a man who sported at least one of those when I was a youngster. I ain't going back. Tom, what are you doing for Bloodsport commentary?
That's
that right?
correct. Myself and mixed martial arts commentary legend Jimmy Smith will be on the call. I have been watching Jimmy Smith since the days of Fight Quest.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Fight Quest, where he would go around the world training different martial arts. And now I get to call Josh Barnett's Bloodsport with him Thursday at the Palms, the very same place that I first fought in the UFC. So it's coming full circle.
Yeah, I don't think
17
it was...
years later.
It wasn't Fight Quest that I watched. It was...
Human Weapon.
Human Weapon. I like that one.
Jason Chambers and Bill Duff.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. Well, good luck doing commentary on that show, Tom.
Yes. If you want to see me wrestle, if you are going to Las Vegas this
I
weekend.
don't, but what are you going to be doing?
Thank you. Friday evening at Ferguson's downtown near Fremont Street. I will be wrestling at the Grap House FUBU For Us By Us event, one of the few indigenous Las Vegas promotions running a mostly local card. So you can see myself there taking on Adriel Noctis along with a ton of other great local talent. So check that out, Grap House, 10 p.m. Friday night. And
No, let me get one in now. Hey, if you're in the Seattle area, Spokane, Washington, May 17th at the Northern Quest Resort and Casino, there's a show. There's a big show. And prior to the show, myself and Filthy Tom Lawler are basically doing a Filthy 4 Daily with a special guest by the name of Kurt Angle.
Can you
Yes.
imagine that? I can't. When I'm thinking about this back in my high school days when Kurt Angle was my hero, I never thought, I dreamed about wrestling him, but I never thought I'd host a podcast with Bryan Alvarez
God.
with our guest as the one and only Olympic gold medalist, one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, Kurt Angle.
Once you Google some of my matches from about 2000, 2001, you'll see I was a big fan of Kurt Angle. You're looking at him. I stole all his spots and everything. That's going to be a fun day. Who are you wrestling on the show?
It hasn't been announced, but I do know.
You do know?
Yeah.
Is it a big name?
Someone I may or may not have just wrestled
Really?
10 times in the last year.
Oh, okay. Well, I know who that is. I mean, do you need a corner man? I'll be there.
Hey,
We
maybe
could work something
we'll
out.
talk.
Yeah, let's do it. May as well. But go there, everybody. Go there. May 17th. Northern Quest Resort and Casino, 4 o'clock p.m. for the pre-show podcast, followed by the Relentless Wrestling Show.
Yes. And Brian, the last plug. I promise, the last plug. If you are attending WrestleMania events in Las Vegas this week and you would like to go to a pool, the Paris Casino pool is free. And bartending
It
there.
is?
Yeah.
Really?
Free. And bartending there, the only female bartender on staff, none other than my wife.
Wow.
So
The
you can
only
go
female
there.
bartender?
Yeah, go there, tip well, and let her know it's because of me.
I'll be there, brother.
I could use the goodwill.
Then you can get me something to eat. All right. Well, we got a couple of notes here before we get going. Jeff Cobb is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I will not say 100% because anything can happen until it happens. But I would say I'm 99.999% sure that he's heading to WWE. So, where he will fit in? Will he be in the bloodline? Will he not be in the bloodline? Will he... Some people are suggesting Randy Orton needs an opponent. I don't know how soon he's going to be there, but pretty confident he's on the way.
Well, his final match has been scheduled for this weekend, April 19th, against Hiroshi Tanahashi. So April 19th in Japan would be, I believe middle of the night here Pacific time. So I guess he could board a flight and make it to night one of WrestleMania if he had to. But I don't know that that's what's going to happen.
Do you remember when it was reported that he was likely on his way to WWE?
Yeah.
And then he did a show like a week ago. When it was over, he goes, "Well, I thought I heard on the internet I was leaving," or whatever he said. And then he just vacated the titles and he's out of here. And then, I've heard people go, "Oh man, this WWE, they're terrible. He just won." It's like, bro,
that ain't on him.
Everybody knew this. This wasn't a secret. They put the belts on him. What did they do that for? But anyway, he'll be there sooner rather than later, I guess.
Those titles, those IWGP tag titles, are snake bitten.
No, they're not. They were booked this way.
Guys get injured. Guys leave. People have short title reigns. Hey, I hate to say it, but I said it for years and years. The best tag team in New Japan is the World Class Wrecking Crew right now. I mean, what other options are there? Why are they getting a shot? They at least have some titles. Instead, it's going to be Bishamon against Callum Newman and Great O'Khan. Bishamon weren't even the last champs. Naito and Hiromu were.
Well, I mean.
Well, yeah, hey. I'm sure. Are we going to talk about Windy City Riot?
Tell me about it. Go for it.
Well, because there's two things that I was just dying laughing about. And one of them involved Naito. Because did you watch the show?
No.
Naito and Teton defeated Rocky Romero and LP. And the match is over. And I'm watching the post-match. And Naito corners Rocky Romero and starts gouging out his eyes for 2 minutes.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if
nice.
anybody knows. And then Hiroshi Tanahashi took on Konosuke Takeshita. Just a fantastic, fantastic match. The ultimate babyface Tanahashi. He even had me believing
Actually,
he was gonna
the
pull out
ultimate
the win.
babyface was Takeshita on Collision. Oh, my God. And he's not even a babyface.
Yeah, I mean, he's spectacular. But Tanahashi fell to Takeshita and then gives a speech after the match where he says, look around the ring. The future of New Japan is in good hands. And I look around and it's LP, Zach, Zane J, me, Kevin Knight,
You.
Kushida, CJ Tino, Azumi, TJP, Mina Shirakawa. They need to get some more baby faces on that New Japan side, brother.
Back in a moment with more Observer Live.
Okay, Vince, the bells rang. I don't know if you're wrestling, some clown. Okay, first off, your lock up. Your right arm is going way out here, okay? Why would you do that for real? The arm goes behind the dude's head. This has to be like it's real, okay? Backing off like this, it looks phony. Okay, everything you do needs to look real. I know it's hard with this dude right here with the no hair, whatever the hell, this multicolored, whatever. Okay, that looks a little bit better, but again, you're pushing it back there and you just stand right there. Don't ever throw a form again. You understand? Look at those, are horrible. And first off, half the crowd is chanting that it's phony. And the best part is, the guy that is filming is burying you. The filmer! The dude who's filming has never taken a bump in his life and he's here making fun of you. That was alright. When you take a bump, dude, have you ever seen me take a bump? The legs go up in the air, you hit out to the side. Look at you right here. Look at that. You got your neck up like this and your legs are all bent. Hit the mat, dude. He lifts you up there, you're going up with him. Okay? You're just standing there. Okay? That was decent. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, you have to jump. Did you guys work this out at all beforehand? Dude, don't even tell me that this is the finish. If he does a people's elbow and pins you, this clown, is this your first match? Look at that, even the guy that's filming is laughing at you. Even the guy that's filming. You just got pinned by... Dude, hey, I'm just trying to help.
You know, during the break, Tom and I were talking about Smackdown. Tom is our Smackdown lead reporter, whatever you would call it.
Head.
Okay, listen. I have since been informed that that allegedly, and I use the term allegedly here, allegedly, it was a shoot count out in that Chelsea match. Apparently, like, Fightful had it and PW Insider. And listen, they're very good at their jobs, and I believe they probably were told that. I don't believe it for a second. I mean, I don't believe it for a second. Because, like, I watched it again, and it's like she wasn't out of the ring for that long. I'm not going back and timing, like, how long everybody else was out of the ring during that show. But, I mean, come on. I think it just was a finish that sucked. And it came off horribly. And because it died such a death, they decided to like blame the referee, like he counted her out. I just can't buy it. Not for a second.
I have a theory.
What's that?
And I believe, along with you, that it was part of a storyline, because when Chelsea came out, Wade Barrett was talking to Joe Tessitore, and they were talking about Joe Tessitore and Chelsea feuding verbally recently. And then that played right into that count-out finish. What was she doing? She was arguing with Tessitore and then got counted out. But I also think that it was like an attempt to give the refs some credibility after that botched pinfall on NXT, where the female thought that I think it was Charlie Dempsey who was banging on the apron during the pinfall attempt.
And then he stops.
She thought that was a count.
But
it does sound
but here's
like
the thing,
a one
Tom,
count.
Hold on. Let me say it again. I've heard that, okay? I know that's what they said, and maybe that's actually what she told them. But, dude, if you watch it again, the referee is loudly, verbally counting Arabic numbers. 1, 2. I don't care what noise she heard. Like, the referee is saying what number she's on. I mean, God. It's not like the referee didn't say anything and there was just noises. Like, the ref's actually saying 1, 2, and she lets go. Like, I don't know, dude. And this one here. And no, I didn't say Sean Ross Sapp lied. I said I believe that they probably told him, oh, man, brother, yeah, the ref, he just called it like a shoot or whatever. I feel like it was like something they told him and others to avoid the embarrassment of it being so bad. But, like, if you watch it, yeah, it sucked, but, like, it played into everything that they've been doing with Chelsea and Tessitore and giving Zelina a win so that she can challenge. I mean, oh, God.
What has this feud been, by the way?
Lame.
Like, all the people who had, big hopes for Zelina Vega, every time she gets split off and becomes a single, there's always this hope from the fans that, she's going to have a good run. And this, so far, has just not been good. She lost to Piper a few weeks ago and then has never redeemed herself until this.
I don't know.
Hey, at least they made Piper look like a monster in that gauntlet match.
I thought overall that show was, like, boring. I feel like we hit the peak a week or two ago, and there's still weeks left until WrestleMania, and so they just have to do stuff. And I mentioned last night that it was weird. Like, I mentioned that it felt like one of the problems was there's not really, it's a very loose brand split between January and Mania this year. And so it feels like these feuds are taking place on every show, and it's like, golly. And then people are like, no, this one was only SmackDown. This one was only SmackDown. This one was only Raw. And, like, I'm not going back to check, but is that true? Like, I feel like I've seen all of these people on all of these shows. Am I imagining things?
I mean, there have been instances where, like, Jey Uso was on SmackDown.
Yeah, they had that Jey Uso Jimmy thing on SmackDown.
Well, it was on Raw.
But they set it up and everything on SmackDown.
Well. Yeah, I think Big Gunther was on SmackDown one time as well. So, yeah, they've just been going back and forth. Cody's on Raw all the time. John Cena is going to be on SmackDown this week, I believe. Well, at least, I mean, in that case, that's supposed to be the SmackDown title. So,
I guess. Anyway.
No.
Is there anything else you want to mention from the show? Because it did nothing for me.
No, I mean, if I can't think of it off the top of my head,
all right,
probably not.
They're adding another belt. Ring of Honor is now adding a women's pure title. So Ring of Honor has got a women's title, a women's TV title, and a women's pure title. How many women do they have on the Ring of Honor roster? No one knows? Okay. Well, I don't know. I can look it up if you want me to, but or in fact, I'll do it.
You know what? I don't.
Too bad.
I'm not quite sure that the pure title for the men doesn't get used.
It's been defended 6 times in a year. I guess we're not quite a year yet, but we're getting there. All right. Man, this roster page is fancy. Okay, so we've got Red Velvet, who is a champion, so she doesn't count. Athena is a champion, she doesn't count. So that leaves Billy and Charlotte Renegade, Diamante. I'm furiously scrolling. Lady Frost. They claim Marina, but is she really wrestling there? Mercedes, Rachel Ellering.
I think Marina may have gotten a win on
Robin Renegade
this past week.
Robin Renegade. Trisha Dora. Okay, so we have 9 women on the roster, on the Ring of Honor roster, that are not holding belts. So if we add in the 2 that are holding belts, that's 11 women. 11 women divided by 3 belts. That's 1 belt for every 3.6 women. I don't know. Seems like it's not needed. I mean, we didn't even need the women's Intercontinental and U.S. titles. We certainly won't need a third.
Which neither of which are being defended on WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, they'll put Chelsea on there because otherwise there will be complaints.
No, she'll probably be on Friday on SmackDown, just like the tag titles are.
Possible. Here is the lineup thus far for both nights. So if you got tickets, if you're one of those people that only has tickets for one night or the other, night 1 has Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Tiffany versus Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. The War Raiders against the New Day. Naomi versus Jade, and Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Night 2 has Cody and Cena. Io versus Bianca and Ripley in a 3-way. Braun, Penta, Finn, Dominic in a 4-way. Liv and Raquel versus Bailey and Lyra. Drew versus Damian, Sin City Street Fight, and AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I gotta say, man, this Charlotte versus Tiffany feud, oh my God. I'm so happy I'm gonna be there to watch it. Because it is unlike anything else on either night. It is such a train wreck. Between the Charlotte-Tiffany interview segments and then, you know, I was watching that show on Friday and it's like, who is supposed to be the babyface? Who is supposed to be the heel? I thought it was simple. I thought Charlotte was the heel and Tiffany was the babyface. But Tiffany was a total heel on Friday. She even worked a match and did a babyface comeback with heel, like she's sneering while she's making a comeback on Roxanne. I was like, what is happening here? Then Charlotte attacks her and, like, you know, wants to beat her up, but the people stop her. So that's like a babyface spot. I'm just like, I don't know. Baffled. Thank you for your commentary, Tom. I'm glad you're
Well,
here.
I'm trying to think of another match that I'm looking
like
forward
this.
to as much. Well, I will say that on the WrestleCon Super Show on Thursday, there is Minoru Suzuki taking on Butterbean, which has me entirely intrigued.
Bert says they don't seem to know how to do Stratton as a babyface. No, that's it. That's not the problem. The problem is her character is a heel character. It's the same with Charlotte. Her character, and it was the same with Mercedes when she was Sasha Banks. They're all heel characters, and when you turn them babyface, if they keep doing their character, like Charlotte is the queen, and she wants all of the wrestlers to bow down to her. How is that a babyface? Tiffany is daddy's girl, who, she's rich and pink and whatever else.
She's out there in the match suplexing around the tiny, tiny little Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
And then going, what time is it? It's Tiffy time, and strutting around and flipping her hair. And I'm like, this is not what a babyface would do. You're beating up this poor girl. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't work, like you said. And I mean, she hasn't, the character has not changed at all. I mean, the only time she comes off really as a babyface is when she's interacting with Charlotte, because how could she not?
Well, we're watching it.
Wow.
We're somehow watching it. There are going to be some good matches on Mania, like Roman, Punk, and Seth. I mean, whatever you think about the Paul Heyman thing, I mean, that's going to be a good match. Gunther and Jay is probably going to be a great match. And let's see. I mean, War Raiders and New Day should be good. Rey and El Grande Americano should be awesome. Naomi and Jade has the best build of anything in the entire company right now.
Naomi has been, and we've mentioned this so many times, just fantastic in this role ever since she was shown as the attacker of Jade. So,
back in a moment with
props to her.
Michael Oku, Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Well, we reviewed Smackdown yesterday, Tom, and you don't even get Smackdown. You're very, just, you know how you are. Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
That's your impression of
Yeah,
me?
that's my impression of you.
Wow.
So what are we, at least, I hope you at least watch a Smackdown main event.
I watched the entire show.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that still like your review, Tom.
I went on the board, and I saw 2 people.
Yeah, do you go on Twitter?
Yeah, I do go on Twitter,
You read my emails?
I do go on
The
Twitter.
text messages? I mean,
Do you go on Twitter? Because if you do,
unfortunately, yes.
you would have seen one of the greatest moments in world history.
In world history, really.
World history. Frank Tate walked away the victor of the fight, but he walked away an even bigger winner when it comes to life. This man completed what I would say is the best high five, the best dap up in the history of the galaxy. This man had his dog. And when I say dog,
Barely a dog.
I mean D-O-G and D-A-W-G. This was a dog, baby. The dog was so proud. You can see just the elation in that dog's face. He threw that paw up. He let it hang for a few moments, and then he brought it down for the dap.
Tom's not even doing this justice. Everyone has seen a dog,
Listen.
you put your hand out and the dog puts his paw up to shake hands. This freaking dog goes, ah, hoppa! What? That was more than a high five. I don't even know what you would even term that. He dunked. He dunked that man.
30 million views on this clip. And that is about 1/10 of what it should have. So if you haven't seen it, you deserve it. Treat yourself. Go to my Twitter. Watch Frank Tate high five his dog.
No, he did not high five his dog.
The dog high fived
His dog high fived him. Yes. He just wanted just boom. And this dog was like, no way, brother. You knock that man out. I'm going to give you a big time dunking high five from way up high. You go high five, up high, down low, too slow. This was an up high. Guy should have pulled his hand away.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
Man, too slow, Joe. Yeah, it was pretty good. Not going to lie. I liked it. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Filthy Tom Lawler. Very happy today to be joined by Michael Oku, who I finally get to talk to on the show. I didn't bail on him this time. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. You've turned up, so that's half the battle.
Yes, last time you were booked, and then I just wasn't there. And somehow Tom apparently did this show solo, contacted you in Germany, and we all made it work. I shouldn't say we. He made it work. And you. It's crazy.
You need to give Tom more credit, is what the lesson is from that.
Well,
It's never going to happen, Michael. But you know what? You are going to get a ton of credit, not only today, but I'm sure after this week is over, as one of the best wrestlers on the planet.
yes. In fact, and we were talking before you came on, the big question was, how many matches Is Michael Oku going to wrestle during WrestleMania weekend? Because every year it's like, oh my God, this guy's got 3, this guy's got 7, whatever. Right now it looks like you're at 6. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm currently at 6 announced matches that are happening this week. Well, at least Mania weekend. The travel is what's going to be crazy because I am flying tomorrow, Tuesday. So I have the Wednesday to breathe. Then it's 4 matches on Thursday.
Oh my God.
2 on Friday. Then flying back to the UK on Saturday to arrive in the UK on Sunday to do a show where I wrestle Leon Slater and defend the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. And Mercedes Moné's on that show as well, so you know.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I was going to, so you have a show, I get it, you got a show Sunday. I was wondering why you, because there's like a lot of stuff going on all weekend. You could have stuck around Vegas even longer. That's quite a turnaround.
Yeah. I could have seen John Cena versus Cody, but I believe that's night 2, as you guys were just talking about.
Yes.
But listen, I chose to be a wrestler, and listen, I've got a WrestleMania main event on the card that I'm on. So I'm going to watch Mercedes Moné versus Kenji as well as wrestling Leon Slater.
Now, this is quite the lineup. You've got, you're facing Evil at this Defy show. You've got you and Flip Gordon and Hechicero versus TMDK. You've got you and El Phantasmo. You and Luke Jacobs. There's an ultimate conflict match for the DPW World title. And you and Carter Black. All of these matches. Is there one that to you, like as just the fan in you, you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for this one?
So for me, the Deadlock Pro debut in that, I forgot what the stipulation is, what the name of the match is, but I read the rules and it feels very similar to Aztec Warfare from Lucha Underground. And I remember enjoying and loving that match. And I was like, oh, this is how Rumble should be. So it seems to have elements of that. So as a fan, I feel like that is one that people should pay attention to, especially all the names that are in it. There's some heavy hitters in that I'm ready to throw hands with. There's people that I've wrestled and there's new people in there that I haven't been in the ring with. So that will be one to pay attention to. The other one I'd say is probably the El Phantasma. That's a special one, actually, personally to me, because he's the guy who I kind of had one of my first programs with when I first started. I was 2 years in. I had my first Rev Pro victory after a 12-month losing streak with him, and I eventually beat him for the Cruiserweight Championship. So to wrestle him again after 5 years, it'll be really, really cool to do that again.
Now, you had a very, I would go as far as say, a very famous match with Will Ospreay. I guess it would have been, was it a year ago now? My God.
Probably last August is my guess.
Yeah.
And no, it's February 2014.
February, yeah. Look at that, Tom. I was right for
once. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so, but that match was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And Tony Khan was there in the building, correct?
Yeah. He, I believe there was like a Fulham game the day before, and he went to that along with Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, and then he turned up to watch Will Ospreay's last independent match and watch me wrestle what I feel was the match of my life. So, and he seemed to love it. From everybody that was around him, beside him watching it, he seemed to absolutely love it.
Well, it was awesome. I mean, so you feel that was a match of your life? I mean, do you feel that was a match of your life, like, by a long shot, or like, how did you feel coming out of it?
I truly feel like I couldn't have done any better performance-wise. And in the building, it was so electric. I've never been in an arena where the crowd is that loud, let alone for something that I'm doing. Of course, I don't know if you heard of Dave Meltzer, but he rated it 6 stars. And so that got a lot of acclaim from people, which is just insane and so funny to me. But I remember even before that rating came out, as I left the curtain, I felt like, I couldn't have done anything better in that moment as a pro wrestler.
Now, how is it working with Will Ospreay? I mean, how would you compare working with him versus working other guys? Was it? I mean, you mentioned like you say I could not personally have done any better. What is it like being in the ring with him? Is he all he's cracked up to be? I guess is the best way to ask.
I mean, believe it or not, absolutely. He is an alien. He's not from here. The thing is with Will compared to other wrestlers is, with other wrestlers, of course, with every wrestler, you need a level of trust. But with Will, there might be, with other wrestlers, maybe a doubt of maybe this might not be able to be pulled off correctly or accurately. There's things that I did for the first time in my life in that Will Ospreay match, because either he called it or I just thought of an idea. And I had no doubt in my mind that it was going to work, because he was going to lift me or base me and move me around how he wanted to, and he's going to take it and make it look amazing. So there's nothing like wrestling, Will, where you just can trust that everything is going to go without a hitch. He's truly incredible. In case you didn't know, he's truly incredible.
How many matches have you had with Ishii?
I don't think I've had any matches with Ishii, actually. No. I've had 0 matches. He's obviously been a regular for Rev Pro, and he's done a lot of our anniversary shows. But Ishii is one of the wrestlers that are from New Japan that I really want to mix it up in there with, and someone that people won't believe me, but I've actually taken a lot of inspiration from because of how much he puts into selling him, and of Tanahashi, who I've teamed up with. I have wrestled Suzuki, which was very wild, because I had to sub in for Will Ospreay.
So was Tom. I was there, and it was definitely wild.
I've wrestled that guy 10 times at this point.
Yeah.
It was no Suzuki versus Butterbean, but I put a fight in. That much I could say.
Now, I was looking up. I was trying to Google and see has he ever wrestled? I can't find any. So you're right. I mean, obviously you're right. But the point is, I brought him up because he's one of those guys that it just seems you will not ever have a bad match with Ishii. He's like an Ospreay. Like, you'll never have a bad match with this guy. And I wanted to know, like, how you compared the two of them. But since you've never wrestled him, I guess I could ask the question, who are some other guys? Is there anybody even remotely like Will Ospreay where, like, you're just going to go in the ring and you're going to have one of the best matches of your life because it won't go any other way?
I mean, I've been there firsthand to see a lot of Ishii kind of have career-making matches with, like, a Luke Jacobs. Who's from the UK at Rev Pro. Yes. But do you know what's even funny? At independent level and the European wrestling level, I would say Luke Jacobs is one of those people who I've seen him go up and down the country, up and down parts of Europe, in like Italy or Spain, wrestle random people that I've never heard. He wrestled a guy called Rambo in Germany, and it was one of the best matches I've ever seen. And I don't know if Rambo has that in him, but Luke brought it out of him. And that's the biggest compliment that I can give for Luke, is that I've seen him have absolutely astonishing performances with people that I've never heard of. And he can do it with pretty much anyone. So yeah. I guess I'd say Luke Jacobs.
Yours truly included in that list against Luke Jacobs.
Who you wrestled, yes. Yes.
Yeah. He carried a scrub to a good performance. What can you say?
Now, taking Will Ospreay out of the picture, I mean, if people are listening to this right now and they're like, I need to see some Michael Oku matches, I mean, what are some of them that you feel, aside from the Ospreay match, it's like, this is one of the best matches I've ever had?
Oh, my gosh. So, I think I would go back to Luke Jacobs. I'm talking about how the good people that he's wrestled and how he makes people look good. One of my most proudest matches, I would say, would be the anniversary show match that we had. I think you might have been in attendance for that, Brian. I forget. But from last year, the day before All In.
Yes.
It was such an achievement, I think, for the both of us, where the year before, it felt clear that the tickets were sold because, A, there were some people that were there for AEW Wembley and they wanted something to do the day beforehand, but also Will Ospreay versus Shingo was announced. So when that's the main event, you're going to get people in the building. But those are two worldwide stars from New Japan, from soon to be AEW. And I think it was a bold decision by Rev Pro to have two British independent wrestlers be the main event the next year. And we drew near enough 4,000 again. And in a match that I just feel like went really, really well. When you come through the back, and as Zack Sabre Jr. said, you gave the perfect performance as a champion. Brings me to tears, but it's very, very cool that he was able to do it.
You know, you had that match with Ospreay, and Tony Khan was there, and I seem to recall people were saying, oh, Michael's on his way to AEW, and then I think you did the one show, right? Was it Wembley?
No, so I did when they did Cardiff. They did
That's
Dynamite
right.
and Collision tapings in Cardiff, Wales, and I did the dark match.
Yes. So have you talked to him about potentially doing something down the road, or what happened there, and where did these rumors come from?
That's a great question. Where the rumors came from. Those pesky dirt sheets. I feel like the rumors came from the fact that before that Dynamite taping, before Wembley, MJF challenged me to a match for the international or the AEW American Championship, whatever he called it at the time. He challenged me for a match at Rev Pro, and I think people on, it might have been Fightful, they just had an educated guess and just put out there that there's been discussions about potentially Michael Oku coming into AEW, and I think that's where it came from. Or at least if those discussions happened, they weren't with me.
Yeah, I think there was Tony had been at his show, and then there was the MJF thing, and then you lost a big match, and people were like, oh, he must be on his way out. Or it was something that all kind of came together. But
100%. It felt like it was almost like all the stars were aligning for me to then debut full time for AEW. But honestly, that was just something that was never discussed at that point. I've got a relationship with Tony Khan. I've said this before, like we're very cool, and we're open to working with each other in the future. But the way I see it, I look at when it comes to AEW stuff, I see that they're Forbidden Door in the UK later on this year, and I can look at that as a potential goal for me to be on that show. But until then, I'm just hanging out in America, doing way too many shows in one day.
Yes, you are. I did notice. Maybe I'll say this as we're going to break, so you don't have to answer the question. But I did notice that you said that you had 6 advertised matches. I don't know if maybe there's more to it than that. But thank you, Dom. You hit the music at the right time. We'll be back in a moment.
Perfect.
Wrestling Observer Live. If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done, over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008, go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of the Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan and Vinny Show, Figure Four Daily, Filthy Four Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com. Everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, F4WOnline.com. Show Bryan Alvarez here, Filthy Tom Lawler. Young Michael Oku is here on the program here today. Talking about how decrepit I was during the break. But hey, you got a lot of shows coming up. Let's get some plugs in for this Vegas weekend. Where can people watch Michael Oku?
So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to Vegas, I'll be there 48 hours where you can try and catch me. And if you can see me at the merch table, please check out. I've got some specific Las Vegas merch. Just come and say hello. I'll be happy to do that. If not, michaeloku.com. You can get the T-shirts from that same place, or go to revproondemand.com to watch me wrestle at my essentially home promotion, Revolution Pro Wrestling. And, yeah, at the OJMO for all your social media needs as it pertains to Michael Oku.
At the OJMO. And I did some math here, which is always dangerous. But if we presume that during that 40 hours you're going to get some sleep, I estimate you have one match approximately every 3 hours when you're in Las Vegas.
Gosh.
One match every 3 waking hours. Good God.
But that just doesn't feel good now.
Well, you don't have to sleep. It's Vegas. Then you could have one every 6 hours. I think I estimated, or 8 hours.
I'll try and find the Wrestling's Ever after party. Maybe.
Unfortunately, you'll be gone.
True.
You'll be in the ring. You'll be back there in the ring by the time we're doing that after party. That's how crazy your weekend is. Good Lord.
Oh, gosh. What have I done?
Well, what you've done is you had a great interview on the show today, and we're going to do it again. And I want to thank you very much for doing it. And, of course, thanks, Filthy. Mike, as always, callers and listeners, everybody in the studio. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.